we're playing white. We're going d4 and we're going for the queen's gambit. And I've been trying to make it educational. I've been trying to make it instructive. Oh, the Alvin counter gambit. Okay, that's good because Mitch can tell us how easy it is to crush this one. I'm gonna do my best. The line I've always liked is the one David mentioned on the show the other day with a3. So I'll start with this. And this stops black from being able to play bishop b4, so I kind of just like this pretty simple idea. Yeah, guys, actually it was supposed to be a US Chess School class, but there was a bit of a mix-up, so that's just going to be rescheduled and postponed to another time. Okay, bishop e7. This is not a move I'm really used to seeing. I feel like black usually goes knight e7, then tries to win back the pawn. So I think there's a couple of ideas for white here. One is to just play b4 and bishop b2, which makes a lot of sense. The other one is to just bring the knight to d2 and then out to b3. But I like this b4 idea. I feel like this is kind of the point of white's line. Okay, b6. I think I'm just going to continue with our development. Go after this d4 pawn. We're already up one pawn, and now this is potentially a second pawn. Okay, bishop g4, good move. So if we take this one, black will take on e5. We kind of trade pawns. We also maybe have queen a4 in the position. Queen a4, bishop d7 probably is the response, right? So I don't know if that's exactly what we want. But we could go b5 there. Knight would have to move, and then we could take the d4 pawn. Yeah, a lot of good options. You can also just go simple move knight d2. Let's see, queen a4, also queen d7 could be played. And again, maybe b5. Yeah, it takes on f3. All right, let's go the simple route. Just stick to developing. Thanks, David. Hello, Vareen. How's it going over there in the chess.com/TV chat? Okay, f6. Well, now this really tempts me to go here, because on bishop d7, we would have this nice trick with e6. Black plays queen d7. Things are not so obvious. All right, let's take this one. And let's challenge this bishop, see where it wants to go. Okay, so one idea here is just to advance like g4 and just play bishop g2. That looks pretty good. Let's get our bishop over to this diagonal. Also throw in g5 somewhere. Okay, rook b8. Yeah, really, really slow move, right? So I feel like we gotta play either g5 first, we can throw in because on takes, we'll have the knight. Yeah, I like g5 because this forces black to move back like bishop e7. And then black won't have knight e7. So for instance, on queen a4, although on queen a4, knight e7, to be fair, we could play g5 there. So I think probably both are possible. All right. And then the other possibility was that we win a piece, which is always good. And now we're really just going to have to develop our initiative here as quickly as we can. I like this move. Okay. He didn't want to see it out till the end. GG. That was fun. All right, with d4, we are playing the Queen's Gambit. Thank you, Dr. Disguise, and you have a good name as well. Okay, Queen's Gambit accepted. I do get a lot of these. This is probably like one of my most common openings in the speedrun. How often do I get accused of cheating? Well, I don't really find out about it. I don't know. I did notice that when I look at my profile, you know how you can tell like if someone ran the analysis on your game because like you know that you didn't do it, but it's been run, so someone did it. So a lot of mine have been run, meaning like the opponents probably ran it. Anyway, we're gonna win back the pawn. And what I've been doing in all these games actually just been trying to use the center. So bishop e4 check, that's not too bothersome. We'll just go knight c3. The knight is nice and solid here. Knight f6. Okay, attacking the pawn. We can definitely consider pushing e5 here, and I think that's the way to go in these positions. Queen d3 also possible, but I like just pushing e5 and taking the space. And then if the knight comes in, knight d5 or knight e4, then we can just defend this guy, and it's not a big deal. Yeah, let's play queen c2. Queen d3 also possible, but with this one I'm kind of leaving the square open for the bishop. Okay, knight takes c3. B takes c3. Now I'm wondering if I didn't just blunder queen takes d4. No, I think we're actually okay there, guys. Kind of a lucky... Well, I don't know if we're okay. I was thinking queen a4 check, knight c6. We might have... Yeah, I think black might have been able to take this one. Okay, guys, so take everything back. Queen d3 was the move. I was thinking, like, maybe I should keep this d4 pawn defended. Now we know. Okay, bishop e7. Well, now our position is just golden. We got a nice center. We got the knight coming out. I think next time we're just going to play bishop d3 here and force black to make some kind of weakness on the king side. Ooh, g6. Well, that's just going to invite h4. I think we're just going to play that immediately. And the threat is very simple. h5, take. All right, I guess we're taking here. So black is just going to let me do it. And yeah, if you ever get this kind of sacrifice where you can just like open up the enemy king, you get a bunch of pawns, you get a bunch of checks, you never lose here. You never lose. You can always give perpetual if you want. You just never lose. Let's take this pawn first, and then we'll talk about our options after. Okay, so we can repeat with queen g6. We can get the rook in, or we can get the bishop in. I think all three options are quite good here. Rook h3 feels like the most powerful move. Then maybe rook f7 is going to be the defense. Rook g3 check, rook g7, take, bishop h6. Yeah, I think that's going to be really strong. King h7. Bishop g5. Okay, let's just play it. Yeah, knight g5 definitely a big idea here as well, because if takes, we get hg and the pawn gets involved. Now in rook f7, we can also consider like bishop h6. Okay, rook f5 I don't think is going to cut it because it's not a great defense to rook g3 check, and now our queen is just coming in, and it's going to be a very simple checkmate. Yeah, I guess rook g7 mate is coming. King here, check, and rook g7. Okay, GG. That was clean. I'm happy with that one. Let's go with d4. Okay, d4, g6, so I'm just going to play c4. Bishop g7. Knight c3. Knight f6, and e4. All right, we're getting a King's Indian. One thing that I've always thought is funny is that like people will take like video game concepts and try to apply them to chess, and the chess world just like rejects it. It's like, no, like we've been around for so long, like long before video games, so no, you guys don't get to tell us like how to run our world. So these things like smurfing and like all that stuff. Hilarious. Okay, so we're playing against the King's Indian. Lately, I've been enjoying this h3 line followed by bishop e3. So we cover the g4 square. We don't let black play knight g4. And then at a certain point, we might advance g4 ourselves and get some kingside play going. We started from 800. For the most part, I'm just playing the pool, playing the pool. I'm glad you're learning a lot. That's good to hear. No, I mean the whole point is to make it instructive, and well, I don't want people to know that they're playing like an IM, right? Because when people play against an IM, you know, they get a little nervous, they end up playing weird. I want people to play as if they're playing like their normal games, you know, on chess.com against the 16, 1700, so we can just see like what kind of games we get and the types of, you know, ideas I'm trying to incorporate in order to win games. So c6, this is actually a pretty flexible move. I like this one myself in the King's Indian. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and continue my development here, either with knight f3, or g4 actually is totally possible here too. Let's go ahead and play g4. We'll just continue our idea. I don't know how long it'll take, probably a couple more sessions. I think I'm just gonna go up to 2000 for this one. And then I want to do another speed run where we play all e4 Sicilian. E4 Sicilian, and then I don't know, guys, for the d4 opening, what would you guys want to see against d4 other than the King's Indian? Okay, d5. So black is trying to break in the center. The move is quite logical for sure, because I did weaken myself with g4. QGA, QGD, Semislav. Do I play King's Indian? Yeah, that's Sandstreams. That's been this whole speedrun, has me just playing the King's Indian. So you can see the first part on YouTube. Yeah, guys, all the speedruns will be on YouTube. The first part's already out on our YouTube channel, and then the rest will be going up, you know, like this month. So make sure to subscribe to YouTube. Okay, knight e4. Now we can take here and try to go after this pawn, but if black takes on c3, we'll just recapture and strengthen our center. So I think I just want to develop here. I'm actually going to go bishop d3. Bishop g2 is also possible, but I feel like with the change in structure, the bishop kind of is going to be better on d3 here. No bomb cloud, guys. No bomb cloud. d4 only. Speedrun with Fia and Keto only openings. I could do that too. That would be fun. Benko. Maybe I should do Benko. It's an interesting idea. But Benko is very niche, very specific. I want to do one that's maybe more popular, like Nimzo or something. I feel like Nimzo Indian would make sense. Thoughts on the Scandi? Scandi's playable. So Queen A5, Knight G2, and we're just defending this one. Okay, now we're just gonna castle, I think, and get out of the center. I don't like that my pawn is on g4. This is actually kind of a disturbance, but I think it's kind of okay because at least we have good control over the center. Now with castling, we're threatening to take on e4, so black will have to liquidate this tension, probably knight c3, and then we can decide whether we want to take with the knight or with the pawn. At some point, I think black honestly should play f6 here and try to challenge the king side. Yeah, I want to play Sicilian. So next one is going to be e4, all one e4, because we did d4, so let's play e4. We're going to play the Sicilian. I haven't decided which Sicilian, either Najdorf or Dragon. Well, which would you guys prefer, Najdorf or Dragon? Just first instinct, Najdorf or Dragon, just type. Because these are the two most popular ones, so I would want to stick to something that's like very popular. Alright, takes. I want to keep the center strong actually, so I'm going to take with the pawn. Najdorf. I'm seeing a lot of Najdorfs. I'm also seeing a lot of Dragons. I don't know who's winning, to be honest. Feels like there was a little bit more Najdorf fans. Alright, we'll do Najdorf. So e4, Najdorf. Okay, f6. Good move. I think I'm going to play f4 here to keep the center under control. Well, there's lots of e6 Sicilians, of course, too, but they're quite specific, and I want to do something that's going to be a little bit broader. I've also never played the Najdorf, so I think it would be fun for me to do it. Okay, so from here, we're just trying to get our pieces going. So we'll take back on f1 with the queen, or we're going to go queen b3 next move. Eventually, this knight is going to try to make it to f4. This is kind of the dream square where it can attack a lot of things in black's position. Okay, b5. I don't know if I like this move. I think this just gives me a free tempo to play queen b3, and now both of these pawns are under attack. And we could have taken on f8, but then that would have actually, I think, improved black's king, because then black's king would have been off of the diagonals. I think it was actually stronger to play queen b3 first, leave black's king on the diagonal, and then if black wants to take on f1, then we'll recapture with our own rook. Okay, b4. Makes sense. He is defending d5, but now I think I want to go c4 here and go after this one.
Earlier this year in a small New York City bar.
Now we can also take on f8. Let's take on f8 first, because now if king takes f8, we get the second rook in. Takes with bishop. So let's go c4. Trying to open up this diagonal, and then on bishop e6 or e6, we're going to have knight f4. That's going to be our idea. e6. All right, let's go. I think knight f4. I could also play Slav, guys, against d4. What do you guys think about the Slav, huh? Exciting? Slav defense. c6. Semi-Slav. What about semi-Slav? I could do a mix. Sass is like, no. No. QGD. What about Grunfeld? What's the solid opening versus d4? Against d4, I would say the most solid stuff is the Queen's Gambit declined, the Slav, and the Nimzo. But in general, it doesn't really matter, honestly, the openings that I play at this level, because in general, players are just making all kinds of mistakes out of the opening. But the opening itself basically doesn't matter. Okay, but I do want to make instructive in terms of like how to actually win this position. So one move that comes to mind immediately is just d5, just breaking through. Like, this is our target. We could take this one and just win the material, but it might even be stronger, I think, just to break through with d5. That's bishop c5. Maybe it's better to take everything. King goes somewhere. Check, king g8. You can also just play like rook f1 and just bring the rook in. But I like d5. And then bishop c5, maybe we'll just go rook e3. Actually, on bishop c5, we can even just take this one. Then on bishop takes e3, we'll take with the queen. Well, on this run, I am doing the King's Indian. So King's Indian attack would be kind of similar. Yeah, well, right. I mean, the point of playing the Sicilian is to play against the anti-Sicilians as well. Like, so I would be totally happy to play against all the anti-Sicilians, because that's what people face. I mean, yeah, I mean, the Sicilian is like mostly anti-Sicilians and then some open Sicilians as well. All right, let's take this one. And now we're threatening this very dangerous discover check. So we'll probably expect bishop takes e3. We'll recapture. And we still have this one on the agenda, and our bishop is looking good. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll play some kind of like Queen's Gambit declined / Nimzo repertoire. I'm thinking like Nimzo and then Queen's Gambit declined as well. Because I really like the Nimzo. I just think the Nimzo is like a good opening. Like, I think the King's Indian is legitimately a good opening to play at all levels. I think it's worth it. You just have to learn it properly and learn how to play it. But I also really like the Nimzo. Okay, e7. This pawn is trying to promote. Yeah, I'm always happy as a Sicilian player to play against the anti-Sicilians. All right, bishop d7. We could take the knight here, but we could also try to play for more. Because now we open up this diagonal. That king is looking real weak. Actually, we just missed a very simple mate. I just realized on e7. We could have taken here. And then on takes, queen h6. That would have been a nice checkmate. Yeah, anti-Sicilian is anything where white doesn't play knight f3 and d4. So that would be the open Sicilian. And anything that's not the open Sicilian is considered an anti-Sicilian. But basically, it's just like a sideline. It's just terminology. But it's just like the main line in the Sicilian is always considered to go d4. And anything else is considered an anti-Sicilian. Even though now, like in some positions, bishop e5 is considered just as main line as anything else, that's still kind of like anti-Sicilian. It's just like the way things have been labeled. All right, let's take here. And then on bishop takes, we could recapture, or we could be super smart with queen d4 check, and then taking on e6 with mate. There's this one, but there's also a much clever way of doing things. No, closed Sicilian is one of the options. So that's just a different sideline. And we'll take. All right, GG. All right, playing white here. Let's go Queen's Gambit. D4. So black is playing QGD, solid. I'm gonna play Knight C3, develop in classical style. Bishop B4. This is actually a totally reasonable move. There's a few different ways to play this one. We can go like Knight F3. We can take on D5. We can go Bishop F4 here. Lots of different ways to develop. Let's go Bishop F4. Let's just bring the bishop out. All right, Knight F6. We'll play E3. 94, very aggressive. But this is honestly not that impressive. I guess black maybe wants Queen A5 at some point, but C pawn is blocked. So we'll go the Rook C1 here or Queen C2. Both are good. Let's go Rook C1. If Queen A4 check, this is always a possible move. Black does have Knight C6, so we don't just win the bishop. Of course, that would be great, but Queen A4 is possible. It's just Knight C6 is a response, and then game continues from there. But I know this one, guys. It's my favorite puzzle rush. Guys, I love puzzle rush, okay? So I do love a good Queen A4 check. And black defends against it. And now probably wants Queen A5. Alright, so let's play Bishop D3. Just gonna develop. And then on Queen A5, we'll just go Knight E2. And we let black take the A2 pawn if they want, because then we're gonna run in with Rook A1. In general, there's way too much focus being put on openings. I think people get really confused, and honestly, it does bug me, because people think there's like good openings and bad openings. It's just like, it's like good approaches versus bad approaches. So like a good approach is like studying games and trying to learn ideas. A bad approach is like trying to learn opening names and like opening moves and trying to like remember what stuff is called. Like that doesn't help you at all. A good approach is like focusing on the ideas and focusing on like developing your pieces and putting your pieces on good squares for the middle game and then castling your king. And then a bad approach is like playing an opening because you want to win with like some kind of easy trap. Right? Because these trappy openings, like you might win some easy games, but they don't actually do anything for your chess. It's like, okay, if we imagine ping pong, you can learn like some really fancy serve in ping pong, right? With like a lot of spin, and then you like slam the ball in it, like, you know, 50% of the time you win, your opponent like can't even return your serve. But then you never learn how to actually hit the ball. And so if someone just gets your serve back, all of a sudden you don't know how to play ping pong. And so I'm telling you to like work on hitting the ball. Just work on hitting the ball first, then work on your openings later. Okay, Knight D6. Sorry for the rant, guys. Just very upsetting. Let's push C5 here and take some more space and take some dark squares. Thank you. I thought that was a good analogy, if you don't mind me saying. Okay, now we're just going to keep developing our pieces. Now, it doesn't mean you can't play this or that opening. You can play any opening you want, but the point is the approach. You want to try to play openings where you're developing your pieces, not openings where you're just playing for like one or two quick traps and you're hoping to get your opponents in it every time. Okay, we have a lot of space here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna use the h-pawn. This is a totally valid opening strategy. Go h4, h5, and you try to create some play on the king side. Now b6 is a good move. Black is creating some counterplay with this one. I totally like b6 here. I'm actually gonna think about how to deal with this one. Because if we take, we open up the rook on the a file, and I'm not sure we really want to do that. Yeah, actually, I'm just going to let black take if they want, so we can keep this d6 square. In fact, yeah, let's just continue our agenda with the h-pawn. Well, the point of h4, h5 is to get the rook going. I agree, in many positions it doesn't really help, but here it's basically to open up the dark squares. Let's keep going. I know he just took a pawn, but actually these dark squares are much more valuable for us. I think now I want to play bishop e5 and just torch black on the dark squares. I don't even care about this pawn. We lost the pawn. It doesn't matter, actually. We can go for much, much stronger counterplay in the position. Okay, RPG Gamerboy asks, really struggling to find a way to have a surviving middle game position against d4. Any recommendations? Yeah, get your pieces out and castle and defend the center, you know, go d5 and e6. Okay, c takes d4. We can take this one, or we can just continue advancing our own agenda and go for this one. I really like how I play this game. I like how black played b6 and then was allowed to just take everything. No problem. No questions asked. And then we're going to win with the h-pawn. Okay, we can repeat moves here if we want to, but I don't think there's much of a point to that. I think I just want to push h7 here, then rook will come to h8. Would be nice to find some kind of checkmating idea here. I guess we need our queen somewhere on h6, exactly. How do we do this? Okay, let's push h7. And then on takes, we'll go king f1. Okay, doesn't take. I was really hoping they would take first, so we can go king f1. And then on rook h8, we would already have queen d2. But I guess we're going to have to be a little bit slower about it. So let's bring the queen out to f3, and we're just going to try to get one of these paths going. All right, let's play king f1 just to let black spot. I want this pawn to survive the whole game. I want this pawn to just be like, look guys, I did my job. I did my job. I took a bunch of pawns. But everyone else not holding up. Not holding up their end of the bargain. Okay, knight f5, good move. Getting the knight into the defense. We could play g4 here and kick this knight, or we could just take it. I think we should just take this one. And then we're going to play for the dark squares here. I think I want to go queen f4, because I threaten this one and this one and this one. A lot of checks in the position. Well, queen b4 actually not These checks on the queen side not so real. Queen h6 is kind of the real threat here. Maybe bishop f4 first, then queen h6. Bishop d6, king g7 here, king takes f6. So funny. Where's the mate there? Man, black is forcing me to take this pawn. I really want to push c4. Okay, I think I got it. All right. So we'll go c4. Just for the tempo. Although it's not really a tempo, I just wanted to leave this pawn alive. But I think we are winning this one. So the idea is check, king g7, check, takes, queen h4 check, very important move. If g5, queen h6 is actually checkmate there, and if black doesn't go g5, goes like king g7, then we take on d8, rook takes d8, and oh wait, we're not promoting the pawn yet, hold on. I don't want to miscalculate this one. Let's be careful here. Hey, thanks for the bits, by the way. Okay, let's not take forever here. Also give check, knight h5, takes. Queen g3. Okay, don't want to flag here. Let's play this one. Give this check. Black goes here or here. We have mate. We have king f6. I think we're just gonna take. We're playing very risky here because I'm super low on time, but I think we are. Mating here. We have this threat and this threat. Too many threats in that position. Dodgy. I agree. I was just looking for a clean win. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find exhibit. But I think this is good enough. I think. We'll see. Oh boy. Oh, that's a strong move. Wow. Oh boy. We're gonna need some help on this one. See, guys, we'll see. Yeah, black is probably holding here. Oh man, guys. Woof. Oh no, queen d3. Oh no, we're losing this, guys. We are losing this. Where's queen d3? Man, we played it. We played it out. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Alright, I think we're okay now. Better technique. Easy. We almost had it.